Hi, in this video we will learn all about interest on debentures. Before we learn the journal entries with respect to interest on debentures, we will have a look at a few very important points. Interest on debentures is calculated on a fixed rate on its face value and is payable quarterly, half-yearly or yearly as per the terms of the issue. Interest on debentures is a charge against the profits and is therefore payable irrespective of whether there are profits or not. We need to remember that interest is not payable on debentures issued as collateral security. The interest rate payable on the debentures is prefixed on the word debentures. For example, if the rate of debenture interest is 10% per annum, then the debentures will be titled as 10% debentures. The balance of interest on debentures account is transferred to statement of profit and loss finance cost at the end of the accounting year. If the amount of interest accrued and due is not paid, then it is called interest accrued and due or interest outstanding, and this will be shown as other current liabilities under the head current liabilities. If the date of payment of interest and the accounting date are different, interest accrued and not due or accrued interest is to be recorded at the accounting date to maintain accounting records on accrual basis, and this will also be shown as other current liabilities under current liabilities. Now we'll check out an example for the meaning of interest accrued and not due. Now let's say the interest is paid on debentures half yearly and the dates are 31st December of every year and 30th June of every year. However, the accounting year ends on 31st March. It is from 1st April of the current year to 31st March of the subsequent year. The company follows accrual concept of accounting, and therefore the interest for the 3 months from 1st January to 31st March will be shown as interest accrued but not due because it is payable only on 30th June of that year. And the final point, interest on debentures is accounted as paid to debenture holders net of TDS amount. TDS stands for tax deducted at source. Therefore, the net amount of interest, which is the total amount of interest less the TDS, is paid to the debenture holders, and the amount of the TDS is deposited in government account. Next, let's check out the format of journal entries with respect to the topic of interest on debentures. When interest amount is due with ignoring the TDS, journal entry to be passed, debenture interest account debit to debenture holders account for the interest due to the debenture holders. Where the interest is due along with the amount of the TDS, the journal entry to be passed, debenture interest account debit to debenture holders account and to TDS account for the interest and the TDS amount due. For payment of debenture interest to the debenture holders, journal entry is debenture holders account debit to bank account for the interest paid to debenture holders. And when the TDS is deposited in government account, the journal entry TDS account debit to bank account for the deposit of TDS in government account. At the end of the accounting year, the debenture interest has to be transferred to statement of profit and loss finance cost, and the journal entry for the same is statement of profit and loss finance cost to the interest on debentures account for transfer of interest on debentures to statement of profit and loss at the end of the accounting year. So irrespective of the number of times the interest on debentures is payable in a year, whether 4 times being quarterly or whether 2 times being half yearly or even only 1 time being yearly, the transfer of debenture interest for the entire year to the statement of profit and loss finance cost will happen only once for the total amount at the end of the accounting period. So now that we've seen the format of journal entries with respect to interest on debentures, in the upcoming video we will solve a few example sums to understand this concept better.